Hey guys, it's Rosina and welcome back to the channel. Now, it is a new year, and I thought, why not start off the new year with a story time? Now, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, this is not clickbait. I actually did stay at one of the hideouts of Detroit's very own Purple Gang. Now, they also went by a different name, and they were called the Sugar House Gang. Fun fact, actually, there is a bar down in Detroit that is named after this gang. It's called Sugar House. Now, if you're ever in the Detroit area, you should check it out because it's actually a really cool looking bar and actually has some really great drinks. So you should definitely check it out. And the inside's really cool because its decor is based on back when the Purple Gang started, and that was during the Prohibition era. You know, the time where you couldn't have any alcohol or anything and no fun. So definitely check it out. Now, who are the Purple Gang? I'll actually start off with that before I even get started with this story time. Now, the Purple Gang was a Detroit-based mafia, basically, and they were known as like a very dangerous gang. Like no one wanted to mess with them because they were so violent and they were brutal. Like there were so many massacres that they were a part of that I didn't even know. I didn't even know who these people were until I met my husband, because the hideout I got to stay in for a week, they told me it was owned by them, and I didn't know that. So that's actually really cool to know. So they're gone now. Like the whole gang disbanded and everything, but I mean, it kind of collapsed, if anything, because there was a lot of infighting. They were all jealous of each other. So they just kind of fought and just kind of collapsed. So if you want to learn more about them, definitely look them up, because even I got to learn some really cool stuff. Now on to the story time. Now, I actually do have a little bit of footage that I will show during this story time, so be on the lookout for that. Now, our journey starts taking a 6-hour drive to the UP, the Upper Peninsula. That's the little, fish. If you use your hands, it looks like a fish. Now, it was a very long drive from where we were, so that's why, it took 6 hours. And we're going into the middle of nowhere. So as you can see, we're driving through a bunch of forest, and we're driving through, a bunch of land, because up north is known for their, forest and everything. It's very foresty up there, because there's not a lot of people that live up there. So we take the track, and we get to a point where you hit the entrance, basically. Now, this place is on a peninsula, and we actually had it easy because there is actually a road to get there. Back in the day, there was no road to get there. The Purple Gang had to get there a different way. And how did they get there? Not by car, not by boat. They took a plane. They had to fly in. Now, as you can see in this footage, that was the airstrip. And it was a very long one, too. You can see it went very far. So they would land there and take this long trek to get to their hideout. And it was a pretty long walk. I mean, you would get great exercise. There is a sign that says dead end, and it has a bear on it. Now, I will let you know all about that later. So here we are, still going, and you hit the gate where we passed through. And like I said, that gate wasn't there before. It was put there because that is private property. Now, do not try to trespass or anything. You will catch some hands. So don't try. And it's in the middle of nowhere. I doubt you will find it. So you get up to the cabin, and the first thing you will see, it's obviously the cabin, but you will see this outhouse. Now, funny thing about the outhouse, it's there because there is no running water and there is no electricity and there's no service. So you're basically in the middle of nowhere. So let me tell you, at night, if I had to go to the bathroom, I would just hold it. Like, there was no way in hell I was gonna go out there and try to go to the bathroom, because like that sign that I mentioned before, there are bears in the Upper Peninsula. There are bears, there are coyotes, there are wolves, there's any of these animals that could hurt you. So I would recommend probably not going out at night. Now, my husband would be like, hey, babe, don't worry. I'll be out there with you. I will have a light so you won't be scared. And I'm like, nope, I am going to hold it. And I did. So I will say, yes, there are wild animals and you don't want to mess with that. So anyway, you get into the cabin. Now you see me walk in and there's the whole, door and everything. Now you can see light coming in, but that's the only light you're going to get. There is no electricity. So you need a flashlight or just use the sun. Now, that's a gas stove, so you're able to at least have that. Now, this is a pantry. Now, as you can see, there is a latch right there. And, what's in there? I don't know. I got really curious, and I was wondering, what could be in there? So you see me trying to open it, and I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't go in there. So, and now we had a little joke that there was probably like some stuff hidden in there. There could be alcohol because prohibition. There could be guns because they're a gang. There could be some Tommy guns in there. Or, God forbid, there's dead bodies down there. So, you didn't want to know anything about that, so I wouldn't worry about that. So there might have been stuff in there. There could have been. They have been looking for like any old guns or anything for like the longest time. So maybe someday we'll find one. I think that'd be really cool. So anyway, so I leave the pantry and, there's actually some really cool stuff in there. All this old stuff. And like I said, it's so dark in there. And, it's hard to see sometimes. But, there's the living room. And there's really actually some cool stuff up there. Now, there's this room. This room is like the only place you can get your electricity in a way. They had a battery, like a big battery that you could charge your stuff in. So you could at least charge your phone and everything. But like, there's no service, so why bother? And if anything, with not having any electricity or anything, I actually kind of like that because it gets me away from my phone and I can actually enjoy nature because, it's better that way. Now, down that hallway is the bathroom, and obviously it's super dark, so I couldn't show it anyways because there's no light and there's no electricity, like I said. So if there was no running water and we had to go to the bathroom in the outhouse, how was I supposed to take a shower? Now, I had two options. I could either go down to the lake, get butt naked, and wash myself there. And I didn't want to do that because obviously it is a freshwater lake, and I didn't want to put soap in a lake, and I didn't want to do that to the fish and all the other wildlife there. So that was a no-go. Now my second option was we get some water from the well, we pump up water, we take it to the stove, the gas stove, and we heat it up to make sure, it's not cold or anything and be a little warm. Then my husband took a watering can and he watered me like a flower. So that was my way to take a shower, was to be watered like a plant. So that's what the whole house was. And it was a very simple house. When you think of a hideout, it's just a simple little area. You're just there to just chill and hide from the cops. So I'm sure the Purple Gang probably had a lot of luxurious stuff hidden. And it'd be really cool if someday either Kyle's dad or one of us find something really cool someday. That'd be really neat to be able to show that. So now, after that, after I did a whole tour of the cabin, we went out and Kyle showed me around the property. Now, it's a pretty big property. Like, they own the whole peninsula that the house sat on. Or I wouldn't exactly say the whole peninsula. There was other cabins in there, so they didn't really exactly own the whole thing. But like at the end of the peninsula is where the cabin was. And we just, walked around, and, the dogs were showing us around too. But Kyle knew the area, obviously, because it's his family's cabin. And he was showing me a bunch of the little areas around, and where his grandfather was buried. They actually buried him there when he passed away. And so after we explored the little area that we could, and Kyle showed me around, we took a little boat ride. Now, he showed me all the real fun things around, and I will show that now. How big is the lake?
Big. What?
It big.
It's big.
We made it.
Did we?
Did we? I think so. I think we made it.
How do they know that we're not in the same spot?
Are you questioning me?
Yes.
Why?
Why not? And cut.
I don't know. This doesn't look like the same.
It's big.
Yeah.
Big.
Big.
There's no other word to describe it besides wet. Or big. I guess there's two words. So you know why it's called the Narrows?
Because it's narrow? Now, we did a whole week there. It was a whole week of no electricity, no running water, no service. And it was during our birthdays, because our birthdays are really close together, me and my husband's. So that was actually a very eventful week up there. We did a whole bunch of stuff up in the Upper Peninsula because I've never actually explored it. I only went to Tequamanon Falls. And it's a really cool little area. I love the falls. Falls are great. So we did that. We did a whole bunch of other things. And I just thought it was neat staying in a place that was owned by a mafia. So that's my story time. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed seeing all the really cool stuff that was in there. I wanted to do an update on scheduling. I plan on uploading at least twice a week. I know for sure Saturdays I will upload, and I'm still debating on the other days. I think I will probably upload on either Wednesday or Thursday, so twice a week I'm gonna try, and do that as my new goal for the new year. So 2 videos a week starting next week. So let me know what other videos you'd like to see from me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Hey everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.